by looking at, we can actually cheat and not use this at all. Okay. Somebody had mentioned that they had problems with this one of the assignments, and so they wanted to see the solution, which makes perfect sense. So I figured we would go over the solutions to the last few assignments. I think assignment 6. Don't show me again. Don't bug me again. We never did solutions, right? And assignment 6 is the first one that does objects, which would be good. 9 is inheritance, right? So. 8 is array. And today was the last day for 8, right? And so, yes, it might bug you to lose the points if you didn't do the assignment, but it's better because you can keep up rather than. So, 6 was super simple. Bless you, at least by now. Gradlu grade. Is to the right. It is basically this same thing. But with a greater than. Right? So now failed everything. Now we pass 1. Woohoo! We have is above and then is below, and it's the same thing, right? Except inverting the condition. Yeah, so we got get bottom right corner, right? Which would actually add the width and the height. Get center, we just need to add half the width and half the height, right? So we cut and paste this stuff, and we do divided by 2. I don't really need them. I can put them. If it makes you happy, we can put them. But order of operations says you don't need them, right? Division, multiplication and division get done before addition and subtraction. So, PEMDAS, you are the math teacher. No. As usual, right? If you get confused by that thing, what do? Add parentheses. It's not a bad deal. If you add way too many, then it becomes hard to understand. But parentheses here or there. Oh. Woohoo! So just leaving one with parentheses and one without, just to confuse people. What I tend to do is this. And leave it like this, and that tells me that that's... But we had done this in between. Contains, right? How do we know if a rectangle contains a point? If the point x is in between the rectangles x, right? And so is in between, and okay, and actually this one I'm not messing up, is in between, so that's good. There was at some point in time I had it wrong, right? But I don't think it's in this one. It's in between, so I'm gonna pass p dot x in between r dot x and r dot x plus r dot width, and p dot y between r dot y and r dot y plus okay. So then we had the person, we had get first name, first last name, and age. Two people are relatives, they have the same last name. It's not true in real life, but oh well. Right? Person equals. How do I check whether two people are equal? They have to have the same thing on all three, right? P1 dot get age $70, woohoo! Get full name, you need to return first name, a space. So p dot get first name plus space plus get last name. Right? Let's do this one and then we'll test both. We are on a roll. This one is get last name, comma space, and then first name, right? Yay! Cool. Now, let's go look at assignment 7, right? This one, some people had, most of you found assignment 6 incredibly easy, right? Especially after the midterm, it was like, yeah, this is easy. Now, this one you had to start thinking about objects, right? So I'm a turtle. What do I need to have? I need to have my x and y position, right? And they are all ints, so I can do int x and y. Turtle, initialize to 1010. This.x equals 10, y equals 10. Do I need this? No, but you can put it. Whatever makes you happy. So I'm leaving it like this. And this is still gonna fail all of them, right? It's beautiful. We actually implemented the right thing, but we haven't implemented get x and get y, so we have no way to test it, right? This is this.x. So now we should pass something. Woohoo! Actually, should we make this private? Probably, right? Move north. And we are saying that that increments the y coordinates. So how can we do it? Right? Move south, it's decrementing. Move east is incrementing the x. And move west is decrementing the x. And that probably gave us a bunch of tests. Woohoo! 50%. Isn't that cool? Equals, I think my test was horrible here. If you do return true, it actually passes the test. Because I was only testing for true, never tested for false. My tests suck. But what you should have done, right? This.x equals t.x and this.y this is almost the same as the person equals from the previous assignment, right? But on that one we are outside the class, so we don't have direct access to the fields. We have to call the methods. On this one we have direct access to the fields. We can just access them. We could also call the methods. Works either way. So that should still get us 60. Move in a direction, right? We basically have to check for those and decide where to move, right? Let me do this. Let me make it the correcter way, the righter way. One thing that many of you didn't do is this, right? Just move north. You already have moved north. how else could you have implemented this? Did anybody implement it differently? You could have done a switch, right? Or what else could we have done instead of using dot equals? Use equal equal, right? Would they work? Would those two other choices have worked? They would have on my test, but strings are weird. You should always compare them with dot equal, because you don't know what happens. What Java does is when it compiles, all your string constants will generate the same string if they are the same constant. So if you write quotations north, close quotes in different places, right? The compiler is smart enough to create only one string rather than a bunch of different strings. And that means that if the strings were created as string constants, it would work whether you use equal equal or dot equals. So it will also work if you use a switch. Now, if you're reading from the keyboard or something like that, then it's a different string, and equal equal would not work, and switch would not work. So you need to use dot equals. So dot equals is brighter, and maybe it will actually work in this case. Yay! Just be aware of this because it will probably come and bite you if you're a Java programmer often enough, actually. Even after you have been programming for 10 years, it will still come and bite you. So, move the turtle to the west n times for int I equals 0, I less than n, plus plus I. Same thing, but now to the east. Cut and paste. By now, right, for loops and things like that should be uber natural. You should be reading them kind of how I'm mentioning them. It's like, yeah. Same thing, right? Cut and paste. Your fingers should know it. No. North. Now move turtle 2, right? X and Y. We don't have set X and set Y. We're outside the class, so we can't just set it, right? So what can we do? Well, we need to figure out whether we need to move to the east and to the west and then move, and then to the north and to the south and then move, right? Let's do it the correct way first. Or it works either way, but if t dot get x greater than x, which way do we need to move? East. So let's see. East is incrementing and west is decrementing. So the point is greater, so we need to decrement it, right? But actually we have moved turtle east. That's cool, right? If they are equal, then we don't move, right? but this is the other way around. Does this sound reasonable? We may be moving. Oh, wait. We need to move west. Cut and pasting does not always work. If t dot get y greater than y, north increments or north decrements? North is positive. So this is south. It's not t dot move north, we want move turtle north. You could have done for loops and things like that, but you already have those functions, right? If you reuse them, makes your life so much easier.
Sure.
I was probably bugging you on the reviews. It's like, use the functions, don't just re-implement them. T y minus t dot get y, right? Maybe. Yes, it was. Yeah. You're faster than compiler. Oops. Wait. North is incrementing.
Oh, because you're getting a negative.
One, this one? This
No,
one?
No, the one on the top. No.
This one.
Yeah, because x is greater.
T dot get x less than x. Oh, I inverted these things? Yes. Yes. Right? T dot get x is bigger, so. Yeah, still no. That can also work. T dot get x is bigger, so this would work. Here x is bigger, so this would work, right? Yeah. Yeah, let's try. Let's see what we are doing wrong, right? Turtle equals new turtle. Oh. Oh. Just running it, right? Will tell us we tried to move to 1516 and we ended up in 516, so our x's are wrong, right? We're moving in the wrong direction? Yes. East is big? Yes, so we are moving in the wrong direction. This should be west to make it smaller. This should be east to make it bigger. Maybe. So, grade. Yay! Now, do we really need the if statements? What happens if I call move turtle west with a negative number? What would my function do? Right, let's look at move turtle south. What happens if n is negative? What does it do? Absolutely nothing, right? It initializes I to 0, checks, is I less than n? No, it isn't. So, finish the loop, and then do nothing else. Does that make sense? So, although this is probably the nicer way to implement it, this works. Does that make sense? Any questions about this assignment? No? You're good? Now, let's talk about assignment 8. Here, you need to keep track of a bunch of reviews, right? In a game info object. And this is probably what got most of you, right? So, I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a bunch of reviews, right? And I could initialize in the constructor, or I could initialize here. Right? So that creates an array that can contain 10 reviews. Right? It actually contains 10 references to reviews. Right? Now, what are the slots initialized to? No, we do know. It's Java. We do know it's no. In C++, it's who knows. Actually, it's not even who knows anymore. It's all zeros, but it's no. Right? We could make use of that fact, right? To find when we get to add review, where is the next place to add it on, right? It's a lot easier to keep a separate number, right? I'm not going to initialize them here. So what does add review does, right? I make reviews of num reviews equals r, and that stores the review in the array, and then increment that. Right? Actually, we can start. This one's easy. So that should at least get us some points.
Yeah.
Oh.
I had to use the slot before students.
Sorry? Oh, game info. Somewhere in here I'm doing the wrong thing. Yeah. Oops. Cool. So now I got 10 points. Woohoo! Now, how can I get sum of stars? I need to go through my array and add up the number of stars for each review, right? Int sum equals 0 for... Now, I shouldn't really be going through every element in my array, only through num reviews. Does that make sense? And then increment sum plus equal reviews of I dot number of stars. Yay. What if I want to go through every element in the array? What do would I need to do? I could do it this way, right?
So why don't need to pass any argument like a review
To where?
to get sum of stars?
I'm not passing any argument. I'm not passing.
Yeah,
any
you
argument.
do not need it
Because I'm a game info. I have my own reviews. You're a method. This is a method of the game info class. The game info keeps track of some reviews. Right? In here, if I were to run this, right, I'm gonna be doing this, right? I have a game info, I added a review, right? And so the game info keeps track of its own things.
Yeah.
This is encapsulation, right? The object keeps its own methods and its data together. And it is a weird concept, and it is one that's going to get you, hopefully it's going to get you no more than a couple times in the rest of the semester and then never again. If it still gets you, do 500 more. That's the only, right? I mean, just create more objects. Create more classes, create more objects, do this kind of stuff over and over. But it is, yeah, it is a weird concept. It is a concept that you need to keep reminding yourself all the time, right? I'm gonna leave both of them. Okay. Let me do something here so we can see. I'm gonna actually add another review. This one had -1 stars, right? So I'm gonna add a review so I want to give it 2 stars, right? So now get number of reviews should print 2, and this should print. We have 2 plus -1, so it's 1, 0.5, right? Right? So let's try it. We could go, how do you calculate the average of a bunch of numbers? Add them all up, divide by the number of things, right? We could do a for loop to add them all up, but I have a function, right? That already gives me that. So this would almost work. What happens if I run it? Prints 2 and 0. Why 0? This is an int. This is an int. When you divide, you do integer division, right? And 1 divided by 2 is 0 in elementary school, right? So we need to cast something to a double, right? What happens if I do this? Would that work? Oh. Indeed. Then I lied to you guys. It was supposed to divide first and then cast, but I guess Java doesn't do it. In Java this works. Well, the common way to do it is to put double here, because that way the parser has no way, right? The parser has to do it the right way. But I thought that this one would, get interpreted as this. But it is getting interpreted as this, which is what you want. So I may have lied to you if I told you this wouldn't work on any of the comments. It does work. We just tested it.
No, I mean,
yeah, may have changed in a version of Java, but I would be very surprised. So it is just Java versus C++ or something like that. In C++, this wouldn't work, but hey, this is Java. There is. Yeah, I don't know where cast goes in terms of precedence. And it's one of those things that, yes, you can, there are tables, right? You can go Google or go to Oracle site and check what's the precedence, or just add parentheses, or just try it. So, get array product. It is basically the same as the sum or something like that, right? Except that we need to initialize our product to 1 and then go through every element and multiply, right? Again, we could have used a for loop with ints or this for loop. Max. We initialize. I think it would work if I call it max, but I hate using the same name for functions and variables. My skin itches. So I always come up with synonyms or mangles of the name. Now, what can I initialize my element to?
Eraser.
Yes. Can I initialize it to 0?
No.
Why not?
If you're all above that, it'll return 0.
Right? If my array has only negative numbers, right, it's going to return 0 instead of minus 17 or whatever is the maximum, right? I could actually initialize it to the lowest int, which is integer dot, this guy doesn't have it. Should have. No. There is main value. So we could initialize to mean value, which is the lowest possible int, right? And so we know that any element would be bigger. Or we could initialize it to ARR of 0, right? I'm telling you that you can assume that the array is not empty, so you can safely do ARR of 0. So we go through every element of the array. If the element is bigger than the currently biggest element, we make the big element that value. And we keep going. We are being slightly dumb. Why? We are doing some extra work. What extra work are we doing? Yes. We are comparing the array of 0 again, right? And we know that it's not bigger because we just set it to be that thing. But if we do it with a for loop, with a normal for loop, right? Then we could initialize to 1. And that saves us 1 element. Get lowest x, and now we get an array of points, right? It is the exact same thing, right? Except that we have an array of points, so ARR of 0 dot x, right? Then we can basically, well, it's not, it's almost the exact same thing, right? Because now we are calculating the lowest rather than the highest, right? Let me call this points. Sorry?
You got LOXW instead of X on your third line.
1, 2, 3. Oh, LuxW. Cool. I just did it again. It's now points. Now, top left corner is the lowest x and the lowest y, right? We could do for loops in here, but we can do this. Because this is super easy, right? We just did it. Just come and replace every x by y, right? And so this becomes yes. You should be banging your head on the wall and saying, I should use functions. That is probably the most important thing that you can learn here. Do super simple functions, right? And use them. And that makes your assignment super easy. And that actually gets us 100 points. Woohoo! Any questions on these assignments? On assignment 9, on the meaning of life? Of course, we are not going to solve assignment 9. That's the one that you guys should be working on. But we are good. Do we want to quickly go over any concepts, or do we just use this time for give you back 25 minutes of your life for doing assignment 9? No particular questions, no particular concepts that are hard. Life is good. Let's work on assignment 9.